Despite being around for a few good years now, the PSVR is yet to deliver a proper, legitimate killer app. Resident Evil 7 offered increased immersion with the headset on, but it didn't lead to a radically different experience when compared to the base version, while admittedly great titles like Farpoint and Until Dawn Rush of Blood have come close but ultimately fallen at the last hurdle. The new multiplayer shooter Firewall 0 Hour though might be the add-on's greatest achievement yet. On the surface, it doesn't look all that dissimilar to high-stakes tactical shooters like Rainbow Six or Counter-Strike. 2 teams of 4 have to either defend or attack an objective, in this case, a laptop, which can spawn across various places in the title's 9 maps, with a ridiculously low time to kill and 1 life per person, resulting in brisk, intense gunfights. That in itself admittedly isn't all that remarkable, but with the addition of VR, the shooter transforms into something genuinely special. In fact, it's one of the most exciting games across any platform right now, and it only has like a 5-line description on Wikipedia. With the motion sensor on the controller representing your weapon, aiming is entirely down to you, awarding you with far more dexterity when it comes to how you approach gunfights. Bringing the controller up to your face allows you to aim down the sights yourself, and it's recommended to keep one eye closed for maximum accuracy and badassery, while hip firing with your gun down is far messier, but alternatively allows you to see more of the combat zone. Being in control of that transition might sound like a small change, but the tension when you're creeping around corners while attempting to keep the red dot sight still is always palpable, while the frantic anarchy of blindly firing from the hip when you're taken by surprise achieves a sense of immersion simply not possible on regular machines. Yeah, the anticipation before a gunfight in something like Siege is undeniably suspenseful, but when you're actually put into the eyes of a soldier himself and it's you who's looking around for enemies, it just increases massively. Physically peeking around a corner only to have bullets whiz past your face, accentuated even more by the brilliant sound design and the headset's 3D audio, can genuinely be really terrifying. It's these sloppy firefights that make Firewall's gameplay so compelling. In any other release, suppressive fire rarely works because all it takes is a steady aiming finger to get the upper hand, but here it's far more difficult to physically pull off an accurate shot when it feels like you're really under attack. It's not only the sheer immersion that makes the game so enjoyable though, but the level design and actual shooting mechanics themselves, which define these short, punchy exchanges of gunfire. The objective can spawn in multiple points of a map, while plenty of tight hallways, doors to potentially dangerous rooms, and vertical levels which demand you make the full use of the 360-degree movement make even walking around an area terrifying. Likewise, while similar VR titles like Bravo Team have attempted to mimic the fluidity of the modern military first-person shooter, none have achieved it quite like Firewall. Responsive controls were essential to ensure that high-stakes matches didn't feel cheap, as fighting dodgy motion detection would have thrown the balance off entirely. Hell, even weak-firing weapons or poor animations would have sucked the tension out of the game, no matter how immersive VR inherently is. But the developers ensure that you feel the kick of every single weapon. Everything is intuitive, even down to how the developers have adapted the regular HUD, with your ammo counter appearing on the back of your gun, while the map can be accessed with a swift glance at a tablet on your left wrist. And just like the game's Firewall takes such inspiration from, teamwork is essential here, as wandering off on your own and going down a hallway could easily lead to you being ambushed. It's relieving then that the developers have managed to encourage jolly cooperation as much as possible. I've never been one for talking to strangers on even the most teamwork-orientated shooters, but I find myself here doing just that without even noticing. Perhaps it's down to the immersion or simply the short but sweet setup of matches, but it feels natural to call out the location of enemies and communicate verbally with your team, which in turn encourages you to stick with the same group for extended sessions. Of course, the ambitious title isn't perfect, and Firewall, like so many other games, feels like a foundation for something bigger yet to come. With only one real PvP mode and 9 maps, the game is lacking in variety, made slightly worse by how quickly matches end. Likewise, despite there being a wealth of options, attachments, and characters to unlock, it can be quite the grind to get your hands on decent loot, especially during the early levels of your first custom loadouts. Consequently, right now it's probably not worth the huge investment to pick up a PSVR just for this shooter, but if the developers can continue to add new modes and maps, not unlike the way Ubisoft has treated Rainbow Six Siege, then it could genuinely become one of the best shooters of the generation. So that's what I think about Firewall 0 Hour. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Have you played it? And if not, is it swaying you towards a PSVR? Also, while you're there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and even head over to WhatCulture.com for more listed news like this every single day. Even if you don't, though. I've been Josh, you've been watching WhatCulture, and I'll see you soon. Bye.